Today on the Maritime Beer Report, I got news on a couple of new beers, a whole bunch of seasonals coming back, Upstreet Craft Brewing and PEI has a special request, and Propeller Brewing expands in a big way. Hello and welcome to the March 27th edition of the Maritime Beer Report. Upstreet Craft Brewing is looking for your help. They say they want to show the world how wise, quirky, insightful, and hilarious Islanders are by printing Islandisms under the cap of every beer they bottle and sell. They're calling it Under the Cap, and they need your help to make this happen. Here's how it's going to work. Dig deep into your brain, come up with your best island phrases, advice, jokes, quirks, quotes, you know. Try to keep it short, though. 2. Share your Islandism by commenting on Facebook, Instagram, or tweet using the hashtag #UnderTheCap. They'll filter through all the submissions and pick the best 250 to be featured on Under the Cap. Le Brasseurs du Petit-Sault are commemorating, in their special way, the old Lancaster Bomber that's been an icon in the Quebec-New Brunswick border for over 50 years. The Lanc, which is to be moved to a museum in Alberta this summer. The special edition beer is a marvelous märzen, an amber lager brewed with a different type of yeast than is usually used by brewers. The Lancaster KB882 will be available in limited quantities at the Brewtique as of March 30th, and will also be available at select NB liquor growler filling stations over the coming weeks. Hammond River Brewing was brewing their first summer seasonal. Yeah, summer is coming. Hawaiian Pale Ale brewed with fresh pineapples. They also brewed this season's last batch of breakfast stout. Lots of coffee goodness from Java Moose, oats, and cocoa nibs. They threw in a couple eggs to make it complete. The home smoked bacon will be added once the fermentation is complete. They've been pretty busy up there. They loaded 16 kegs of Switchback Brown Ale that was delivered to the KV-ANBL store for growler fill-ups starting yesterday. Picaroon's Traditional Ale's newest beer experiment has landed. Kelp on the way. This dark and smoky ale has been brewed with a generous helping of real sugar kelp harvested off the shores of St. George, New Brunswick by way of Thierry Chopin of UNB St. John. The kelp is heavily blanketed by a strong malt backbone of roasted and smoked malts, and balanced out by a gentle hopping of Fuggles and Golding hops. At 22 IBUs and 5.8% ABV, it's like drinking a dark, malty, smoky beer right after a cool, brisk swim in the Bay of Fundy. It's available exclusively at the Brewtique for growler fills in downtown Fredericton while supplies last. Railcar Brewing is a little ahead of schedule. They tell me they'll be open tomorrow, Saturday, from noon till 10 p.m. for growler fills. Right now, they only have their Artesian Brown Ale on tap. More beer will be coming next week. The tasting room should be open in a couple weeks, pending inspections. Big Spruce Brewing was busy zesting 80 lemons and making their first ever lager in Big Spruce history. They're brewing a lemon zest infused Maibach today. It will be boiled and dry hopped on a fresh lemon zest, Bavarian 2206 lager yeast at the ready. Look for this during the NS Craft Beer Week in May. Another beer they're working on is a kettle-soured raspberry wheat coming this summer. It's described as tarty, fruity, complex, and every bit what they were intended to brew for this very select and limited summer release. Big Spruce worked with Parks Canada and the Bell Museum and their upcoming summer production of The Bells of Bedeck, the Alexander Graham and Mabel Bell story, to develop a beer based on the recipe right out of Alexander Graham Bell's notes. And lastly, the collaboration between Big Spruce and Bar None Brewing, Island Conspiracy Double IPA, has been released and is now available in select locations. Boxing Rock Brewing Company has released its Rive du Sud again. It's available in 650 ml bottles and 1 liter growlers at the retail store in Shelburne, and available tomorrow in 1 liter growlers at the Halifax Seaport Market. The next chapter IPA made its way into ANBL stores this week. Lucky New Brunswickers, find it while you can. Garrison Brewing Company says get ready to pucker up. Their newest one-off, a cranberry hibiscus wit, coming in at 4% ABV with a wonderful tart flavor. This is available on tap at the brewery. Granite Brewery released their India Pale Ale last week in growlers from their brewery on Stair Street. It's a British-style IPA hopped with Cascade and East Golding that comes in at 5.4% ABV and 45 IBUs. Meander River Farms says, backed by popular demand, their Smoky Chipotle Porter will be on tap this weekend alongside their newest release, cider. Cider, you say? Yes, they're releasing Nova Scotia's newest craft cider this weekend at their retail shop in Ashdale. This is from Meander River. Craft cider, like craft beer, is very popular right now. At the farm, we've always used resources that are available to us seasonally. Our pigs to till the land, our hops for the beer, and our lavender for our home and bath products. We live in an area of Nova Scotia where apples are everywhere, so why not make something delicious from them, said Alan Bailey, brewer and proprietor of Meander River Farm and Brewery. The cider will be made from a blend of valley apples and has a clear Nova Scotia apple and citrus notes. It is dry with a crisp finish, 6.5% ABV. There's 200 liters of this cider available for growler fills from the small batch, the first of many. A recent expansion at the brewery has allowed Bailey not only to brew more beer, but also to add cider to his product line. By bringing 2 additional conditioning tanks, Meander River Farms Brewery's capacity has increased from 15,000 liters per year to 45,000 per year, approximately 330 liters per batch. Bailey will double production this coming summer and triple production by summer 2017. Speaking of expansions, Propeller Brewing says they've added another 4,000 hectoliters per year of capacity to their Dartmouth brewery. 2 new fermenters, both are 135 hectoliters, close to 40,000 bottles worth of beer to add perspective. The custom designed tanks were purchased from ABT, that's Allied Beverage Tanks Incorporated. The new tanks will give them much needed additional capacity to move into the beer drinking season. Growth in the craft beer segment has been exceptional in Nova Scotia over the past few years, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. Brands like their IPA and their Organic Ale are leading the pack for growth. This addition was planned when they moved into the new facility in 2013. This is the second tank addition. Their first one was a 68 hectoliter tank back in 2014, since moving to their new home on Windmill Road. Sea Level Brewing are having their first tap takeover this week at the Boardroom Cafe from the 25th to the 28th. They're going to have 7 beers, including their newest batch at El Rojo Diablo. Speaking of tap takeovers, on May 14th, Bad Apple Brewhouse will be bringing a whole lot of beer and a cask to Tom's Little Havana. I'll bring you the tap list when I get hear about it. Lastly, the Townhouse Brew Pub and Eatery says that every Friday they have a second house brewed beer on tap. Terry's English IPA is the second hand pump tonight. So if you're ever in Antigonish, check them out. Thanks for joining me again this week. Have a fantastic week. Until next time, enjoy responsibly.